one word of advice. Never let anyone sign your checks!
Bobby, please.
Hey everybody, Jefferson Webster here. If you haven't figured it out by now, I love good bad movies. And Heavyweights from Disney is a great bad movie. Let's check it out. What happens when you combine Disney's Mighty Ducks franchise with Ben Stiller's Dodgeball? You get Heavyweights. The Mighty Ducks alum Aaron Schwartz, Kenan Thompson, and Shaun Weiss are all in this family comedy. In fact, Shaun Weiss actually didn't want to be in the film. However, as part of his contract with Disney, he was told that if he didn't star in the film, then he would not be a part of Mighty Ducks 3. Sweet power move, Disney. As for Ben Stiller, his Tony Perkis character in the film seems like a training platform for his 2004 Dodgeball character, White Goodman.
We are the Globo Gym Purple Cobras, and we will rock you.
In my opinion, Ben Stiller's performance of his Tony Perkis character is what truly makes this a decent and watchable film. He's great in it. Written by Stephen Brill and Judd Apatow, the film was released in 1995 and did not do terribly well in theaters, grossing $17.6 million, but it has gathered a cult following since. The film centers around Jerry Garner, played by Aaron Schwartz. His parents tee up a summer trip to Camp Hope, a kids' fat camp. But as I watched this as an adult, I realized this isn't a fat camp. It's more of a camp for social outcasts and kids without confidence. The overwhelming majority of campers just happen to be overweight. Regardless, none of these campers are losing weight. It wouldn't be a movie without conflict, so the kids are all getting settled into camp when they learn that the original owners, the Bushkins, are in financial trouble and have sold the camp to a fitness guru named Tony Perkis. Tony's plan for the camp is to film an infomercial for a weight loss program. Now, I'm not a contract lawyer, but I'm pretty sure their purchase agreements for the camp would have been null and void when the new owner took over. Regardless, Tony immediately removes all forms of fun from the camp. Unhealthy foods for the campers have stashed, and sets up several activities to humiliate the kids into losing weight, such as a softball game against their rival camp MVP and a dance with Camp Magnolia, an all-female summer camp. Any attempts for the kids to reach out to their parents for help are thwarted as Tony has been intercepting the letters. Did they not have a phone at camp? Another thing I never understood is the previous camp counselors and staff are just working there. They complain the entire time. Dude, just quit. That's a you problem. Eventually, things at camp come to a boil, and Tony decides to punish the campers by making them go on a 20-mile hike. During the hike, they stop for a break, and Tony launches into a story where he eventually jumps onto a tree branch overlooking a huge cliff. The kids all have this over-the-top reaction. Wait a minute, I thought you hated this guy. Now, I probably seem inconsiderate, but while Tony is peacocking during the break, some of the campers actually dug a giant hole, disguise it, and set a trap for Tony to fall into. Yeah, I call bull on that. So Tony falls into the hole, then they somehow get him out and transport him into an electrified cage, and they also begin to torture him. How does all that work? Hypothetically, they would have had to have either had the cage ready to go, left him in the hole during cage construction, or had him sedated during that time. Do I still seem inconsiderate now?
I have no friends. Now breathe and relax.
Shut that up!
Perhaps even more disturbing, the previous camp counselors go along with this. Someone should be doing prison time for that one. Additionally, they tied up Tony's staff to trees and put honey on them with the empty threat of bears being in the area. The honey would likely attract a variety of insects. They'd also likely soil themselves, attracting even more vermin, but whatever, it's Disney, so on to the next scene. With Tony being subdued, the remaining campers and counselors were free to binge out and party. By the way, who's funding this? I have to think many of these campers come from extremely affluent families. Jerry and Roy come to the camp from a plane. And all the campers are buying bootleg food throughout the entire movie. Many of them have been to the camp year after year, which can't be cheap. In fact, Pat, one of the older counselors, has been coming to the camp for 18 years, which prompts my favorite line in the film.
What the hell have you been doing with yourself?
After the food party, Pat lectures everyone and says they need to start taking care of themselves, which leads to a montage of things that wouldn't remotely help them lose weight. I mean, look at this embarrassing power walk scene. That's not doing for their health. They just look stupid. It's like those people who say they ran a marathon, but they just walked the entire time. Yeah, maybe you can say you participated in a marathon, but let's be honest, you didn't run a marathon. Now it's Parents' Day and the kids present Tony's camp in an extremely biased way. Simultaneously, Tony escapes from his electric cage. God knows how long he's been in there. Tony arrives to reclaim his camp and is assaulted by Jerry's father, played by Jeffrey Tambor. That's a crime, but once again, it's Disney, so there's nothing to see here. Tony's father arrives to the camp, also played by Ben Stiller, and he promises to close the camp and give everyone their money back to avoid any lawsuits, but the kids want to stay at the camp for the remainder of the summer. Pat volunteers to run the camp, and everyone seems okay with that. An adult male in his mid-30s who's been attending and working at an all-boys camp for the past 18 years seems to be a bit questionable to me. I'm not implying anything here, but maybe put a little bit more rigor into handing the keys over to old Pat here. Side note, as I rewatched this film as an adult, I kept wondering what Pat does for a living when he's not at Camp Hope. I know, spoiler alert, Pat ends up kissing the only female adult at the camp, Nurse Julie, which is a massive load of bull. However, Pat just seems kind of weird sometimes, like a questionable man-child.
Just so tired of being the fat guy. Do you know in my entire life I've never scored a point in anything?
The end of the film leads to a square-off in the Apache Relay with Camp MVP, a camp of athletic douchebags. Over the course of the summer, these kids prank and harass Camp Hope. This also leads to another funny scene in the movie.
You stink! 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 Stink!
This is great. Well, it's a Disney movie, so of course Camp Hope wins the big relay, and Pat decides to throw the trophy into the lake to demonstrate that they care more about having fun than winning. That's a great message for kids. Just have fun, guys. Don't worry about succeeding in life. I suppose that means Pat's still working at the camp this summer for his 44th year. Fun times, eh, Pat, you weirdo? If you watch The Simpsons, then you might be very familiar with the plot, as it is very similar to the 1992 episode titled Camp Krusty. In the episode, Bart and Lisa are excited to attend summer camp, but when they arrive, it becomes their own personal hell. Reaching a breaking point, the campers overthrow leadership, demanding the fun time they were promised. The Simpsons episode pulled from Ben-Hur, Lord of the Flies, and The French Lieutenant's Woman for inspiration. South Park parodied heavyweights in an episode called Fat Camp, so I suppose inspiration is borrowed everywhere. And now it's time for some fun facts about the film. Nurse Julie just rocks no bra here. I wasn't looking for this sort of thing as a kid, but I noticed it as an adult. Hello, what kind of kid's movie is this? Truth be told, Judd Apatow did his thing and had numerous scenes that Disney considered too racy for the film's PG rating. If interested, you'll have to track down the Blu-ray to check out those scenes. Another thing I noticed watching this as an adult is that Dawson is the true villain of the film. Dawson was previously a camper at Camp Hope, however he's returned as a member of Tony's staff. He reveals where the kids are hiding their fatty foods, then sells it back to them. When campers revolt, he joins them, double-crossing Tony and his coworkers. He's a real piece of shit. Also, Nicholas is a huge liability. He almost gets the group caught breaking into Tony's house because he's busy eating. As they make their escape, he drops ass right in front of Jerry's face. He's also responsible for Tony's escape from his cage. Finally, his effort during the Apache Relay is questionable at best. Minor semantics here, but the Bushkins would not have filed for Chapter 9 bankruptcy. Chapter 9 is for municipalities. Jerry and Pat have the same haircut. Perhaps that was intentional, attempting to have similarities between the protagonists. Dressing up like Native Americans, yeah, don't do that. No one on the planet drinks like this. No one. Oh look, Paul Feig. At least he isn't ruining Ghostbusters here. Sweet jorts, man! Other celebrities in the film included Paul Berg, Jeffrey Tambor, Tim Blake Nelson, and Alan Covert. I've been in a few slow-pitch softball leagues, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that one of these fat kids can't crank a home run? Really? There's always at least one fat guy that can jack taters to the moon. Also, this is slow pitch. Why is Jerry making a big deal about getting hit?
Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez.
Nice, Disney. Very nice. Let's condone bat violence and validate it with an adult. Evidently, during the food party scene, Aaron Swartz injured his arm. His cast had to be hidden during the remainder of the film. At the end of the film, Camp Hope steals the boat motor from Camp MVP and they add it to Jerry's go-kart, which somehow makes it fly during the Apache relay race. Right. In the celebration scene, they dump a cooler of full canned sodas onto Jerry. What the hell, man? In a post-credits scene, Tony has become an unsuccessful door-to-door salesman selling healing crystals, similar to the post-credits scene in Dodgeball where White Goodman gains all of his weight back. Perhaps someday we'll get that third Ben Stiller film where his Tony Perkis, White Goodman character get revenge on overweight children and average Joes. That's it, guys. Heavyweights. Great bad movie.
Excuse me! I'm looking for several portly adolescents.
That's us.
The Pushkins always put me in the chipmunk bunk. I've been in here for like 10 years.
According to my information, you have been reassigned to the big house.
I don't think Tony would mind if we switch back.
That would make me feel very uncomfortable.
You got a girlfriend? Hey. How about a ride out of here?
This is the best damn summer of my life.
Same here.